with her experience and situation. Casey?
Thank you, Pastor. Good morning again. I'm Casey Gary. I'm one of the volunteers here in Victory Navabayan. This morning, I'd like to share with you what transformation from glory to glory looked like for me in one of the major areas of my life. I surrendered my life to Christ back in 2005 and resurrendered it in late 2012. Over those years, I imagined Jesus ticking off my healing or overhaul checklist. God has faithfully dealt with my brokenness in areas of my identity, purity, finances, and honor. And what I'm going to share with you today is how He healed me from my broken view of my finances. Back in 2016, I already have a thriving relationship with Jesus and just needed a house cleaning in the area of my finances. I was working at a BPO company and was earning at a rate that afforded me a relatively comfortable lifestyle. Back then, I had 4 credit cards and was driving my own car. My relationship with my credit cards is a very interesting one. You know, I'm not sure if anyone can relate with me, but when I first got my first credit card, my only intention was to use it for emergency purposes. And I had every intention to pay off everything in full every month. But then, my wisdom back then would tell me, would consider the red tab, spelled as SALE, as an emergency. So, church, the thing about credit cards is that it gave me a false fallback. It gave me a false security that I am still living within my means. Because for credit card companies, as long as you're paying the monthly minimum, you are good. In fact, you are very good. And they are even going to reward your consistent payment by giving you means, by giving you means or increasing your capability to buy more beyond your budget by increasing your credit limit. So there, I had unwise spending after another. I ventured into a business that I did not even care asking God about. And my credit card bills came piling up that I only had enough money to pay off the monthly minimum. At age 27, I had a debt of almost $500,000 because of compounding unwise financial decisions. It affected my tithing, I was stingy, I was selfish, and I was living beyond my means. I was overcome with greed and envy, and worse, I was too blind to see it. Because of my relationship with Jesus, I knew now that He wanted me to get healed from that. You see, when Jesus says He will heal you, He means business. And He kept me awake at night during that year. I had that heavy feeling of unrest, and so many things are falling out of place. And that was the time that He finally caught my attention. And I asked myself, and I asked God, I asked Jesus, when will this end? Somehow, I could identify with the rich young ruler, except that I wasn't as rich as he is. Just like him, I was a relatively good Christian. I regularly went to church, I volunteered, I led a victory group, I tried to be at peace with everyone around me. And I'm serving and obeying Him in most areas of my life. And I imagine that we must have felt the same thing when He asked Jesus, what good thing must I do to gain eternal life? So I asked Jesus, what should I do? Jesus asked me back, Karen, is your lifestyle aligned with the promises that you are claiming? And I was reminded of the promise that I shall be the lender and not the borrower. And it slapped me in the face. How could I claim that if my actions would say the otherwise? I got into that vicious cycle of getting into debt to pay another debt. And I asked God, when can I have enough money to pay off everything? And that I couldn't enjoy that promise because of my disobedience in this area of my finances. There, Jesus asked me to stand up to my debt and get rid of all my credit cards. And I tried, I said yes, and then I asked God, okay, so you're gonna give me a job with a higher pay, or should I take another job? But then, Jesus had a different solution in mind. He asked me to sell my car. And boy, that was hard. Because now he is dealing with my pride. So many pride-related thoughts and concerns came rushing my mind na what will people tell me? But then, by the grace of God, I was able to keep my resolve and fully obey. So I went ahead and posted it online. During that time, I was driving a 2005 automatic Honda Jazz, and I posted it online for a price of 220,000 pesos, because I didn't want to be too picky. And I told myself that I can go as low as 200,000 because I knew that my car wasn't that in a good condition. And for people who speak cars, they would agree that that was a really good deal already. So just an hour after I posted it, I received an inquiry and were able to immediately schedule the viewing the next day. I met with the buyer's husband and he was able to check out my car. And after that, after the meeting, they haggled to get the car for an amount of only 150 pesos. That was 70,000 pesos less of what I already thought was a generous price. My well-intentioned friends agreed that it was a crazy low price and that it was a scam and they're just taking advantage of me and that they're only getting it so that they can sell it and earn back from it. As I agreed with my friends to wait for the next buyer to inquire, a still small voice told me na give it, bless the couple. And I said, nah, that can't be Jesus. Parang sobra naman yun, Lord. Sobra yun. So parang we know naman we're both on the same side. I needed all the money I could get to pay off all my debts. So I thought to myself, that can't be Jesus. That was October 9, 2016. The next day, October 10, as I was reading my Bible, during that time I was using the Robert Murray McShaney Bible reading plan. And one of the chapters I was scheduled to read was Philippians 4. And the verse 19 said, "And my God will meet all your needs according to His glorious riches in Christ Jesus." And that's how personal God came. Now, of all the chapters in the Bible, I read it at that day. And I just saying, what? Seriously, Lord? Seryoso ka talaga? I spent the next 24 hours wrestling and reasoning with God. Now, why would He want me to do such thing? I'm only going to be able to pay off just one credit card and I had 4. And He asked me back again, how far will I go for freedom? How far will I go for healing? And after hours of wrestling, I finally decided to sell the car at that price of 150,000. So I sold the car on October 12 and got the money the next day. And I called one of the credit card company which I had the biggest debt. I owed them 120,000 pesos. And when I asked the lady, na parang, okay, I'm gonna pay off all my debt today. And then she said that I only need to pay 60,000 pesos to cover everything. And at that time, talagang, Lord, thank you. Parang it's surreal. That's half of what I was supposed to pay. And because of that, I only was not able to clear one card, but was able to settle 2 and started paying off 1. And I was able to bless the couple regardless of whatever their intention was. I have lost an earthly treasure but gained the heavenly. More than being able to start paying off my debts, my obedience led to my healing from greed and envy. I became free to choose a job without considering what role would earn me the most money. I experienced the momentary pain of generosity and joy I had immediately afterwards. I became genuinely happy for my friends who possessed more, who traveled more, without the feeling of being less blessed just because I didn't have the same. Little by little, nabawasan yung pagiging inggitera ko. And just like Paul, I learned to be content whatever the circumstances. I know what it is to be in need. I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. What my friends thought as a foolish and desperate decision turned out to be one of the greatest decisions of my life. I experienced how personal Jesus really is and how badly He wants me to get healed. And just like what Timothy Keller said, when he said that when we experience the real Jesus, He will demand way more than we thought of and would offer more than we'd ever dreamed or imagined. And so, church, my hope as I share my testimony is to have each of us asking ourselves in whatever areas of our lives that we want healing with. How far can you go for freedom? And how far can you go for healing? Jesus be